It is a Christmas morning special. We've got one of our all-time favorite guests, Kyle Emanuel, in studio. Plus, why not NFL picks with my dad? An abbreviated Hot Mic starts now.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. I was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Kyle Emanuel takes it all the way.
Upended at the 35-yard line. Emanuel.
Kyle Emanuel.
We love this player, the way he plays. Man, this guy makes plays.
Is sacked by Kyle Emanuel, the winner of the Buck Buchanan Award. That goes to the best defensive player in the country.
Now, we haven't seen this intro at, 2 years, 2.5 years. Merry Christmas, my man. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely.
We figured the best way to spend Christmas together is with my guy I spend every Saturday with a fall with, and we didn't even get to spend the last Saturday together because you had to bolt because of a funeral actually that day.
Yeah.
So, and it ended up being a funeral at the Fargo Dome that day as well.
Yeah, it's a family event, right? And I think, you can put it on me, I guess, if you want to call it an announcer jinx or whatever it was. I talked to a couple different people, and look, I hate doing this, especially as a player. Like, you never assume anything. But, like, in our business, right, you have to assume something. So I'm saying bye to you guys, like, well, I'll see you next week, right? And I'm telling some other people, and lo and behold, there was no next week for us. So, yeah, it was a abrupt end for us, the fans, players, everyone. So,
all right, before we get any football stuff, we got some breaking news to share, even on Christmas morning, because this is the best announcement, best present ever, that you and your wife Jackie are going to be parents coming in June, man. Congratulations. That is so awesome.
Yes, thanks, Don. I appreciate it. It's I'm fired up. I'm already going through the whole like dad things of like, man, I hope I don't screw this kid up, right? Like hopefully making all the right decisions. But yes, we are excited, as you said, the best possible gift that could have come for Christmas. So I've actually known since October.
Okay.
We've been holding on to it for a while. I wanted to tell my family in person down in Nebraska, so we had to wait till Thanksgiving, and then we.
How tough was that, by the way?
It was hard.
I did the same thing with my parents, and it was brutal, man.
It was tough. We were trying to drop subtle hints. My parents were talking about coming up to a game, but October was crazy, right? With NDSU, I had some work travel as well.
The Bison were gone 3 games in October.
Right.
Yep.
So I kept kind of trying to drop hints to get them to come up, and I think I almost gave it away for doing that, but it didn't work out. But anyway, but it was awesome getting to go to Thanksgiving, and my nephew actually was playing in the state championship game, and so.
Yeah,
sister, everyone, both my sisters were back and went to the game and got to kind of tell everyone.
That's awesome. So due in June?
That's right.
It's a great month. That's when the Jackman was born. So I mean, pretty close. Yeah. Jackman was born on the 17th. So now the run up to begin. I remember the crazy stretch we had was to build the dresser. That's a real pain in the butt. I'm just going to tell you right now. That was a pain. The crib, all that. Like, I'm not hands-on, as you probably could imagine. So if you have that skill, you're already a light years ahead of where I was.
I can put things together, right? I've done that a lot, but I'm just more worried about all the list of things you have to get. I'm already employing people and being like, hey, if you have advice on things you bought that you love, and things you bought that you're like, I don't know why I got that, like, send them my way.
We got the Mamaroo, which is it like rotates the baby in there. That was really sweet. Jackman fell asleep. That was clutch.
There we go.
Pack and play is really good. I'm sure that'll be on some sort of baby shower list for Jackie. That was clutch.
I'm mostly leaving it to her, right? But I would like to have, I'll have a little bit of input. So.
And you don't know what you're having yet, correct?
We are not. Okay. We're actually not going to find out.
Okay.
We're going to wait all the way until the delivery day. So some people, it's fun. It's been fun telling people that because some people are like, you're insane. I don't know how you can wait that long. I could never be that patient. Other people are like, that's awesome. That's how everyone should do it. So everyone's kind of split. I think split down the middle a little bit on that one. But we've talked about that basically since we got married. If we ever have kids, that we want to wait, and so that's what we're doing.
So Yeah, we found out ahead of time, and we knew, and I'm glad I did. I think because that helped. But it's for one's own prerogative on that, and find out the day of, and then there you go.
What we like to say is like there's not many surprises in life where you're it's going to be good either way, and you don't really care, exactly right. And so it's like, well. We'll just wait and be surprised.
How I know your mom and dad. How are they react being grandparents?
They're pumped. So they have 6 grandkids already, but my niece is, I'm going to butcher the 7 or 8 already at this point. So it's been a while since they've had a grandbaby. My parents were pretty fired.
How about Jackie's mom and dad? How that?
This is number one, right? Number one for them. So I think they were almost in shock. I think a little bit at first, but everyone is very excited.
All right, so. We've been asking all our guests this week on what was the main gift as a kid you wanted. Was there one you always I gotta have this? What comes to mind?
Yeah, well, I think the ones that always come to, at least for me, the ones that come to mind are the ones you didn't get.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for everyone. For me, it was a Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm aging myself there. If there's anyone. I don't even know. Maybe if you're younger than 25 or 20, you definitely don't even know what that is. Well, maybe you do. But anyway, I always wanted a Nintendo 64. And my buddy had one, so I'd always go over to his house and play it. And I never got one. I'm trying to think what else. That's the number one. And then I ended up getting at one time I wanted a PlayStation 2. I did get that. Oh. So, but the Nintendo 64.
So I'll date you even more. It was a Super Nintendo for me.
I actually had one of those too, Dom. Believe it or not, I had one of those.
The game was the NHL 93 game, which everyone raves about, right? I wanted that, but I told my parents I wanted the Street Fighter game because that was super popular. I got Street Fighter, and I was disappointed on Christmas Day. I didn't get the NHL game. My birthday is in March, so I ended up getting it then. But, man, I was massively let down. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's fun. Outside the 64 is the one that just burned in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, we always wanted a dog as kids too. I don't know if for Christmas we never got that either. Which honestly, being older now and about to be a parent, I totally get it. They're like, you're not going to take care of that thing.
How is your pup going to react now to a little one being in the house?
Yeah, he'll be great. Yeah, we've had him around. My cousin, we actually just had him around. 8-month-old basically over Thanksgiving. My cousin has an 8-month-old daughter, and they were like best friends.
Yeah, so
he'll be awesome.
Our dog Coop, which is way tinier than yours, Coop's he thinks he's 50 pounds. He's 18, but that was the best. Was bringing Jack home and having him in her. And Cooper was awesome. Has always been an overprotective big brother for Jack when he was tiny. That was the best part of. One of the best parts of bringing Jack home.
I'm excited about that part. Yeah, we'll have to try and capture that on video if possible.
That's a pretty good one.
I'm excited to see what he does.
So, what were the Christmas Day traditions you had in your family growing up? Do you have things you guys did every year?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We would always go to Christmas Eve Mass, and then we would come back and kind of have I guess I'd call it a special dinner. It was nothing too crazy, but I was always the same. I think we had shrimp cocktail and some type of soup, which was different. We just never did that. And then we would always open one present on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, so always one on Christmas Eve, and then we'd do the rest on Christmas morning. Then my grandparents, because both my grandparents growing up were about 20 minutes away.
I didn't know that. I was going to ask. So was your extended family right there as well in Schuyler?
Okay. So both my grandparents, within one was probably 10 to 12 minutes, 15 minutes maybe at most, and one was 20.
That's cool.
So they would come over then in the afternoon, and my mom would make us pick up everything. And if you got new clothes, right, you had to try it on.
Wear those,
Grandpa, right? So nothing too crazy, but that was our tradition.
I want to talk the actual football stuff in our next segment. So we just wrapped year 5 of doing this. Tell me, if I would have told you, hey, 5 years in, this is where it's going to be, would you have believed me? This is what you do Saturdays during the football season.
I would have liked to. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because people have asked me about that before. And did you ever think you would do this, or how did you get into this? And it's it's kind of a not a crazy story, but it's just never something I necessarily wanted to do. Or I guess I didn't even think about it. I think I started to think about it towards the end of my professional career, and just doing things like this. I've always enjoyed it, right? I have no problem doing it. And then it kind of just came about. And then obviously when WDAY got the contract, and I was fortunate enough to be asked to do be the color analyst, I just, obviously it was something I wanted to jump at. And it's a lot, as you know. Especially I'm working full time as well, so it's prepping in the evenings, and you're still working and trying to do all these other things, and then giving up basically your entire Saturday. But I absolutely love it. I know you do too, obviously, Dom. So I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's something that's unique. Not a lot of people get to do it, especially. And I think as a former player, former players are always, in one way or the other, you're trying to stay connected to the game somehow, and that's why you see a lot of people go into coaching, or they go and they be strength coach, or what
Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about coaching at
all? I always said, like, I'll never say never.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, I moved around enough, and it's not even a lot compared to some people. But I wanted something a little more stable, right? And obviously in the coaching world, you see it, right?
And it ain't that. No way.
You don't get a lot of promotion. I mean, you can, but promotions are moving around the country. And then, there's the whole recruiting aspect, and it's just the hours are crazy. So, no, I never would have said never. I'll never do coaching. I still wouldn't. I mean, who knows? Like, right? But I didn't think necessarily it was for me. I always knew. There's certain people that I played with, like Grant Olson.
So I was going to ask you that.
Dude's got to be a coach.
So the guys that are currently your former teammates, like Grant, Sam, Carlton, Marcus is up there. Yeah. I mean, Grant, I agree with you. And I was covered. I'm like, that guy will be involved in football. And did any of the three of them surprise you now that they're doing that?
No, it doesn't surprise me. Now, again, but Grant was just head and shoulders above. And I think anyone who played with him would say the same thing.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't have to be a coach. He's talented and he's brilliant. Like, he could do other things, but like if there was a guy that we played with who was going to be a coach and you had to pick, like that guy should probably be the coach. The other three, no. Like Carlton, Sam, Mark, like all those guys, especially Carlton, just because I saw it more because he was my roommate. Like, everyone always talks about him and his freakish athletic ability, which is true, right? I mean, that was evident on the field. But like, he was cerebrally, like he was a really, really smart. He understood the game. And you pair him with Grant.
Oh man,
that's why those guys had so much success. So no, it doesn't surprise me.
Was there another guy you played with that you thought could do it and maybe hasn't? Was there another one that in your plan, either college or the NFL?
No, I don't. No one comes to mind right off the top. Again, it's just because I think Grant was just he was already a teacher when he was already a player. Yeah. I guess one that kind of comes to mind, and I know he's done a little bit like Trevor Gebhardt a little bit. I think just the personality.
And his dad, of course, is a Hall of Fame coach in South Dakota.
I would just spend some time with Trevor, and that dude just loves the game.
Yes.
He's still, right? Like, he's still all about it. He's following it probably closer than I am, right? And so that wouldn't have surprised me. There was a number of guys that definitely could have, just because, again, there was so many guys that I played with that understood the game to a different level where you knew that they could go on a coach.
It's funny. I saw a recent segment. I can't remember what game I was watching. Was talking about professional guys, professional football players, and how much they watch their collegiate teams on Saturday. How many bets that are on. I know you and I have talked about that. Can you expound on that a little bit about your playing days in the NFL? What Saturdays were like in the locker room?
Yeah, they were a blast.
Yeah.
There was a couple that come like. So would that have been my rookie year? NDSU lost to Montana, right? And then about halfway through the year, we had someone come on our team that was a Montana alum.
Yeah.
So obviously we had a bet going. One of my good buddies, Nick DeZubnar, played at Cal Poly. He didn't even want to bet me because he knew they had no chance. And I was like, it doesn't matter, man. We have to do it right. So like we're gonna make a bet. He had to wear my NDSU shirt around.
That's awesome.
Of course, I got him the brightest yellow one that I could find. There's so much trash talk that goes back and forth.
It's awesome.
It's so fun. Yeah. Now, for me, it's slightly less, right? Just because there's less FCS guys naturally, but still, it goes. I mean, I played with Colton Underwood was there for a while, talking about Illinois State.
Yep.
He was there with the Chargers, so we had just beaten them in the national championship. There was someone, Desmond King played for Iowa.
That's right.
I still remember that. Still, I mean, we're talking 10 years basically, and he was still trying to tell me that field goal didn't go in. He's like, that actually wasn't good. And we should have won that game. Are you kidding me? Just turn on the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I never heard that story.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Constant. And it was obviously the same for the other one that was big was burger places, because you had a lot of California, you got a lot of Texas guys.
Yep.
So In-N-Out and Whataburger. There was a lot of back and forth. So you got the college teams, you got the burger joints.
What'd you side with after your time in California?
In-N-Out.
Really?
Not even. To me, it's not even close. I'm not a Whataburger fan, and I'm not picky at all. It's fine. In-N-Out is I wouldn't say I'm not one of those people that's like it's the greatest place ever. But yeah, give me In-N-Out.
I got down a YouTube wormhole here last night. Actually, I don't know. I was watching some old ESPN old Sunday night broadcasts of San Diego Charger games from the old stadium, and you played in it. How much, and I think we've talked about this maybe on this show, how much the Charger fans in San Diego loved their team. You talk about that because it's not the same. I mean, LA now, the Chargers are having a great year, but I've always heard it. I think you experienced. SoFi is not a home stadium. Anybody can come in and do that. It was not the case in San Diego.
Yeah, well, so I almost had to hear the stories about it because I was in such a weird transition kind of. So because I was there for 2 years, right? But it was already being talked about. There was already okay, are they going to build a new stadium or are they going to move? And then of course we weren't very good. We won 4 games, I think, my rookie year and 5 my second year, or something along those lines. So we weren't very good. Yeah. San Diego is a destination city, so we definitely dealt with some of the things that LA teams, California teams deal with, where you get taken over. I still remember a Raiders game when they were good. That was the year Derek Carr broke his leg, but they went like 12-4 and won the division, and they were really good. And it was end of the year, and I'm telling you, Don, it was like 80% black.
That's
everywhere.
Tough.
And it was the black hole basically made its way to San Diego. But yes, I will say, I mean, the people that are there that are homegrown, that are from San Diego, they loved their Chargers without a doubt. And I'm sure I've told you this before. I wasn't shy, but I wish they would have stayed in San Diego. I think the majority of people do. I get it from a business standpoint, and I obviously don't know the numbers, right? I get why they moved, and they wanted it downtown, the stadium, but San Diego is just so unique, and it's just it's so close to LA. I get that, but the market is just there, and unfortunately,
and you see it honestly with both the Rams and Chargers play. Those are not home games. Whenever they're there,
Rams won a Super Bowl, right? And it was still just kind of we got a million other things and other teams.
Correct.
You got USC and the Dodgers, the Lakers. I think are the 3 that come to mind that are they're going to dominate no matter what.
That was not the case in San Diego. You guys, I mean, the Padres were kind of good, but if you guys were, that was the thing in San Diego. Yeah. All right, let's break. We're just getting started here. We'll have actually talk some Bison football with our guy Kyle Emanuel here on our Christmas Day special. We got NFL picks coming as well with my dad to wrap up our abbreviated show. We'll do that when we come back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Christmas Day morning being spent with the Bison TV guys. That's fun. Back with Kyle Emanuel here in studio. We should actually talk about the football team.
I suppose, yeah.
What's your gut tell you for the national championship with Illinois State, Montana State?
Oh, my gut tells me Montana State, right? I mean, I don't think there's a line out yet. I think they will probably be. I don't know about heavy favorites, but as you and I were talking before we even came on air, like Illinois State, and I said this. I think I said this on our pregame show, like maybe both times that NDSU played. I'm like, Illinois State to me is a team. They're hard to figure out. You looked coming into the first game that NDSU played. I mean, you're looking at the scores, and I think there was like North Alabama and there was someone else, and like they just squeaked by them, and you're like, okay. But then you kind of look on paper who they have. Victor Dawson, I'm a big fan of him. I think he flew under the radar. I think people are finally understanding him. Like Daniel Sobkowitz, I knew was good, and then we saw him in person because we weren't calling that game, so we're on the sideline, and I'm like, okay, he's better than I thought, and he's having a Bryce Lance-esque run here in the playoffs.
Rittenhouse is better.
Rittenhouse was always a player that was capable, right? He made some, again, head-scratching plays, but when he's on, he is dangerous. So you started to look at it like, okay, this is a good team, and now they have the momentum. They're hot now. Maybe the worst thing for them is they have to actually take a week off. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if Illinois State won. It wouldn't shock me by any means, but I do think it's interesting. There's also the storyline of, all right, Brent Vegan. Last year we were talking, this is the year.
That was their team, man.
This is your year. If you don't do it now, when? And now here they find themselves back here, and they're going to be heavy favorites. So I would obviously, I'm going to lean towards Montana State.
As a former Valley guy, though, even the Bison and the Jacks aren't there, and the league is still in the title game for the 15th year in a row.
Okay, that's what I was going to. I was actually going through my head. I was like, when was the last time there wasn't a Valley?
It was
team?
The first year in Frisco. Was that your true freshman year? Was Delaware and Eastern Washington that year?
Isn't that nuts?
That's your true freshman year, man.
That's a long time ago. So It kind of puts a stamp on it, and anyone wondering who's the best league is. And look, don't get me wrong, the Big Sky's been great as well. But when you have teams, How about this, though? I was thinking about this, too, like in, let's say, like September. If I told you the last Dakota school is going to be South Dakota.
Nope.
Would have never guessed. And the last Valley school is going to be Illinois State. I'd be like, nah, I don't think so.
Not how the Bison played in both of those games in the regular season. No way.
It's it's kind of shocking. But I sent out the tweet after the game. It's like, I give Brock back a ton of credit. I mean, he's been beaten down by NDSU, right?
Absolutely.
Forever. They hadn't beat
your last game.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. He still talks about that game to this day.
And then the way that game played out in Fargo, and for them to, I mean, I was watching it on TV, and you could see Rittenhouse on the sideline, and he was distraught. And it was like, you just had to put him away, but they just kept fighting. So yeah, I give him a ton of credit.
All right, it's the day and age we live in where now players have to go and announce that they're going to come back. But I'm interested in your thoughts to see. I think the number, Kyle, is at 75. As we're on the air this morning, are going to come back for 2026, and some big ones. Donovan Woolen's going to come back.
Yeah.
Keenan Wilson is, as of now, is going to come back. What's that say that amount of players are going to return?
Yeah, so I have two thoughts on this. Number one, as an alum, and we've talked about this a ton, Dom. Like for me, I know I didn't have to deal with the transfer portal, so I can't really speak to what it would be like if I had to deal with this. But like for me, it was never transferring was. I know it wasn't an option, but it wasn't even something I think I would have entertained because it was like NDSU became a part of me. It was like, that's my family. But now I get what these kids are dealing with. But still, as an alum, I like that they're still clearly feeling what I felt when I played at NDSU, and that there's a little bit more. You're playing for something more. You're playing for something bigger than yourself. You feel the Bison pride. You feel the brotherhood, right? Like all those things still exist. So as a former player, like that makes me happy. And it doesn't shock me by any means because of guy we were just talking about, Grant Olson, so like Tim Polasek understands all Samuel Jury, Mark. I mean, you go on and on, right? All these people, they understand what it means to be a Bison. And so you're excited about that. But number two is what you just said is like, it's so odd that we even have to be
no
here.
doubt.
It's so odd. Like you basically have your recruiting class, your high school recruit, and then you have your transfers, and then you have your own
current team. Yep.
Wait, who are we going to get? Who's going to quote unquote sign today, right?
Yes.
Who's going to commit to us? Who's going to come back? So it's such a weird world. And obviously for NDSU, when you have the talent, when you have all the success, like to me, you're always going to have a bullseye on your team, and anyone who shines or shows any potential, there's going to be people interested.
That's an all-conference player or all-freshman member, you got to be on alert now, right? Like, okay, that guy, well, we'll go get him.
And again, I don't blame the kids for this at all. It's not their fault. But like, I'm just thinking from a fan's perspective, like even when I was a little kid and you'd watching the Huskers, right? And there'd be a freshman and they stand out. You're like, man, I can't wait to see that guy next year and see what he becomes and how they develop. And it's like, as a fan, that's just got to be so tough now. And I'm not talking NDSU now. I'm talking just college football as a whole. It's got to be hard, right, to kind of latch on to a player knowing at any point, they can leave. So, yeah, I'm excited that they have that many guys coming back.
Donovan Woolen's a biggie. We talked about this throughout the season. I had him on the show earlier this week and said NDSU believed in me. They've trusted me. I want to keep playing here. And that's a big deal considering he just flashed. Anytime you saw the Bison play, number one stood out, I think, immediately.
Yeah, he was a guy that we were excited. We saw a little bit last year, right? And he was kind of skinnier. He's like, okay, but something was there,
no doubt.
Right? And I would say the same thing with Nathaniel Staling. It was like those two guys really excited about, okay, but what does it look like when the lights are on and the bullets are live? How are they going to go out and they're going to perform? And it was really with flying colors. It really was both guys. So yeah, I think it's incredible that he wants to come back. I love the comments you just made that he, NDSU believed it. I think, too, and I would say this to anyone, like if your goal, I don't know what your goal is, but if your goal is to play in the NFL, just look at the guys before you. You can get drafted anywhere you want to right here at North Dakota State. And guys have proven that all the way from the number 2 pick right down to the later round. So anything you want to accomplish, yeah, you might get a little more NIL money somewhere else, maybe. But, I think, again, it goes back to what I said. I think he feels kind of the stuff that I felt even back 10 years ago or whatever it was when I was still playing.
That linebacker room is going to look a little different. Obviously, Logan Kopp is moving on. We know Woolen's going to be back. We assume Staling's going to be back. I think Gavin Sell, Peter Haugo, there's some names. Sell comes out, and he had only played one, but Grant was talking up this guy. He said, this guy reminds me of what Logan Kopp was when I first saw him. And that's high praise considering Cobb was a 3-time first-team All-Valley player.
Well, and I would say Grant, he's a good friend of mine, and he will not BS you, right?
Yeah,
like if he
no doubt.
if he likes someone and he tells you, like, because he said the same thing about Staling to me for years, and I was like, okay, I believe you, but I don't know, I haven't really seen him play.
Right.
And then he plays, and obviously he was right. So yeah, I would say the same thing. And so was a guy that was it the St. Thomas game, whenever it was, he got in, and all of a sudden we're saying his name over and over and over again. So yeah, I think there's. I think Grant, and it really, I mean, the strengths that everyone's done a really good job of, and they've gotten into a lot of games, but developing some of those guys behind.
You've so unfrequently experienced losses, so I can't really ask you this, but I'm really interested for the guys that are going to come back, what this loss will do going forward for 2026.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I guess
your loss was in the middle of the season,
or it would have been Eastern Washington, my true freshman year. But at that point, we still national championship. We hadn't won one at that point. I kind of thought this when I saw we were just talking about all the tweets coming in and guys like, I would not be surprised if you see an angry team next year. Like it seems like, and look, I think the players feel this. I think the fans feel this. I feel this a little bit. Like it felt like, it's tough to say robbed, but a little bit like we were robbed of. We were talking an all-time team at one point, right? Like offensively, they were putting up numbers that were going to break records. The defense was outstanding, around like 11, 12 points a game. And then for it just to end so abruptly, it was kind of like, well, we're going to wake up from this, right? And they're going to be playing next. I said it on the radio. I was like, I think I'm going to still put my suit on Saturday. I'm going to drive to the Dome at 9, around 9 a.m. and be ready to go. It just didn't feel real. So, yeah, I think. Not that you want a team that needs external motivation, but if you need it, you certainly have it, right? Yeah. I think they're going to come back. I mean, it's cliche, but the whole unfinished business thing. And this team, as we were just talking about, I mean, the road outside of Illinois State, if they get past Illinois State, the road to Nashville would have been paved.
Yes,
in gold,
man, is
for
exactly
them.
right.
And so they have to be feeling like, we let one slip away, especially the way that the game played out. I've said this too. It's like if that was a back and forth game and there's a battle and, Illinois State just made one more play, which I guess you could kind of say that. But 5 interceptions and a punt return for a touch. The way it ended, I wouldn't be surprised if this team comes back with a lot of motivation.
All right, last things. Any chance that Cole Payton wins the Walter Payton, or is that sewn up for Bo Brungard?
I think it's sewn up for Bo. I do. I don't have a vote. You know that.
Bo was pretty darn good.
I think there was a little bit of a lull there in Valley play for Cole Payton, right, where he was on such a trajectory, and not that it was the by any means.
That night in Brookings, we were there. And I'm looking at you like, tell me there's a better player in the country right now than that guy. I'm talking to Cole, right? But the last 4, and then they played next week, and Brungard was really good in that game against the Bison.
Really good, and he just continued to put up stats. Yeah. And again, if you're going off pure, like, who do I think is the better football player, I might lean towards Cole Payton. Yeah. I really think I would.
Going to the Senior Bowl now, man.
But,
that's a huge deal.
Bo Brungard, you can't take away what he did. I'm sorry, you just can't. So I would – look, again, as an alum, I hope he wins it. Do I think he will? Probably not.
Well, you're the only individual right now. You and Trey Lance on the individual awards on the national level is it, which is crazy.
So weird.
Considering the amount of success. You and Trey are the only ones to win the major individual awards.
I think Easton obviously,
and Marty on there too. Marty Brown won the Jerry Rice last year.
Yeah,
so.
But still there's guys like Easton Stick. The fact that he never won one. Cam Miller, now that one was tough, right? Because Tommy Millat had a phenomenal year, and they're both in the national championship. So I think that one could have gone either way. But it is, it's crazy, especially on the defensive side. And I know you had Grant on. I was listening, and he's talking about, like, when you play good defense and you get off the field, you don't put up stats. And so then individuals don't shine, and it just kind of is what it is.
You had to have a crazy year like you did your senior year to have the kind of stats you did to get that award. Right. And you couldn't ignore the kind of year you had that year. It's great to see you, man. I can't be more excited for you and Jackie. Congratulations to get into the best club in the world as the Dad Club. We welcome you with open arms in June. Have a great holiday, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me down.
Kyle Emanuel joining us here. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas as well here on our show. All right, we'll break. We come back. Wouldn't a show on a Christmas include my dad? We'll have some NFL picks coming up when we come back after this.